Los Angeles Police Department is embroiled in the worst scandal in its history. Charges of police evidence tampering and perjury have led to the freeing of dozens of inmates who were wrongly accused and convicted.
Prosecutors plan to ask a judge today to overturn more convictions as a result of the ongoing LAPD corruption scandal.
That now brings the total number of cases overturned to 40.
Meantime, the city is dealing with a growing number of lawsuits growing out of this scandal. Several major developments today.
Escándalo de corrupción en la división Rampart provocó que nuevos casos criminales fueran anulados por una corte de Los Ángeles mientras se investiga la supuesta alteración en los mismos.
Policías a la cárcel y millones de dólares para las víctimas puede ser el final de este escándalo de corrupción policial.
Los Angeles officials say it could take years to resolve the city's police corruption scandal, its worst ever. More convictions were overturned today. The city is looking at millions of dollars in legal claims by people wrongfully accused.
Add another 9 to the list of cases thrown out because of the LAPD corruption scandal, plus a staggering estimate of how much the resulting lawsuits could cost the city.
That's a huge mess.
That description of the Rampart Police Corruption Scandal given today by District Attorney Gil Garcetti. 9 more criminal convictions thrown out today. That makes 40 so far, including Stephen Garcia's.
I lost my family, my home, cars, clothes, everything.
Garcia says ex-Rampart police officer Rafael Perez framed him.
He showed me some cocaine and told me that if I didn't give him some information on who was selling firearms or who was selling certain amounts of drugs and so forth, that I was going to go to prison.
And he did, for almost 3 years. Now Garcia's attorney is working on a lawsuit against the city, just one of many that could cost Los Angeles up to $125 million.
New developments in the LAPD scandal. Tonight, a federal judge has made a major decision regarding anti-gang officers and illegal immigrants.
If it's the situation like Mr. Tejeda, where they literally threaten him because he's a material witness to police misconduct, and they tear up his green card, whatever people may or may not think is right is not the point. We have mechanisms that we have to follow.
El escándalo de corrupción en la división Rampart de la Policía de Los Ángeles vivió hoy otro penoso capítulo. Un grupo de abogados presentó una demanda colectiva que involucra al Servicio de Inmigración y Naturalización.
They all have the same rights and the same constitutional protections.
Esta noche, abogados de 4 de las víctimas de los oficiales de Rampart informaron sobre la demanda presentada contra la policía de Los Ángeles.
A federal judge has refused to bar the scandal-plagued LAPD Rampart division from having contact with young Latino males who may be illegal immigrants and involved in gangs.
Bueno, un juez federal de Los Ángeles toma una decisión sobre la policía de Los Ángeles y las presuntas entregas de indocumentados al Servicio de Inmigración.
Mr. Soriano is a unique situation. He had one conviction overturned.
Para el abogado Gregory Yates, las unidades antipandilleras de Los Ángeles pueden ser más peligrosas que los mismos pandilleros.
Su mentalidad es muy parecida a quienes acusan de ser peligrosos. Y creo que en este caso la pandilla del Departamento de Policía de Los Ángeles representa un peligro mayor al público que cualquier otra pandilla, porque ellos supuestamente son los guardianes del público.
Yates representa a 35 personas que dicen ser víctimas de la unidad Crash.
Officers in the Rampart Division are now accused of rigging deportation orders for suspected gang members or witnesses to police misconduct. Channel 4's Patrick Healy is live at the Metropolitan Detention Center in downtown Los Angeles, where one suspect could be deported within just a few hours. Patrick.
Colleen, Paul, the case of Walter Rivas, a father of 2 who's no angel, but his lawyers say he was framed and a tainted conviction was overturned just 2 weeks ago. Yet Rivas remains in custody at the Metropolitan Detention Center. He could be deported to El Salvador as soon as tomorrow. Tonight, the tears of worry belong to the 12-year-old son of a Salvadorian immigrant who came to the streets of LAPD's Rampart Division and had run-ins with the anti-gang officers in the crash unit, now the focus of the corruption probe. A conviction has been overturned as tainted, but 2 others remain in effect. And brought to the attention of INS and in federal custody, Walter Rivas may be deported before the Rampart scandal is fully sorted out. His brother Julio holds out hope.
He said that maybe he's going to be on one of the persons on those cases.
We have mechanisms that we have to follow, constitutional principles that we have to adhere to, and that wasn't done in multitudes of instances by crash.
The cases cited by Attorney Yates in his lawsuit touch on the corruption revealed by disgraced ex-officer Rafael Perez. In one case, Perez acknowledged setting up for deportation a man named Osvaldo Tejada Delgado so he could not testify as to having seen the then officer planting evidence.
And they tear up his green card, and to this day, he still cannot ascertain his status.
Attorney Yates is seeking a federal court order that would in effect require LAPD to follow its own 21-year-old policy that undocumented status in itself is not a matter for police action. This evening, a federal judge declined to issue such an order on an emergency basis. The matter comes up again next month.